Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan and you guys are all here for one good reason only, and that is because you want to talk a little bit about Cristiano Ronaldo, right? We all want to talk a little bit about Cristiano Ronaldo today, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Because it does look like, I know on the thumbnail I've got Cristiano Ronaldo in a Man City shirt. That looks to be very much off. It looks like maybe Man City and PSG were also being kind of used a little bit to try and engineer this deal for Cristiano to go back to Manchester United, the club where he became famous, really. So yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo to Manchester United. What does this mean? You know, not just how much is he going to cost, not just what position is he going to be in as an FPL player, not just how can we get Ronaldo into our team. These are all very important things, but it's not just about that. It's also about how is this going to impact other things, you know? And this is what we really got to be thinking about. How is this going to impact everything? Because believe me when I say, guys, this is going to impact so much. This is such a big thing for FPL, and we need to be switched on and thinking about it. So, guys, it seems to me like in the chat, you guys are fairly hyped about all of this. We've got a new member here as well, Ethan Fernandes. Thank you very much for joining as a member of the channel. We're going to talk all things Cristiano Ronaldo, maybe answer a few questions, and then I'm going to go off because it is the last Friday before I get married. I'm getting married next Friday. So tonight I'm going to go out for some drinks with some of the lads in the family, a little bit of a mini local stag do, and I'm going to have a few drinks. But back to the topic of Ronaldo. First of all, what should we talk about? Well, I think the most boring thing we need to talk about really is position. The position that Ronaldo will be put in as. Will he be a midfielder? Will he be a forward? I know a lot of you guys are going to be thinking, I really hope that he's going to be a midfielder. I think the chances of Ronaldo being listed as a midfielder is pretty slim. Last season, he pretty much exclusively played as a striker for Juventus. The season before, kind of a little bit of a mix, you know, some striker, some kind of on the left wing. Before that, you know, yeah, maybe he was a little bit more of a winger, but certainly in recent seasons, and this is where FPL makes the decisions, they look at the player and in the previous season, where has this player played most of their games in? Are they therefore a midfielder or are they therefore a forward? So Ronaldo is going to be a forward. I can say that with quite a lot of confidence. As lovely as it would be for him to be a midfielder, he's going to be a forward, and that's kind of going to hopefully mean that his price will be a little bit lower, because forwards at the premium end are usually priced a little bit lower than the premium midfielders, just because premium midfielders will get you more points because they get an extra point for goals, they get an extra point for a clean sheet as well. So he's going to be a forward, and hopefully he's going to be a bit cheaper. As for prices, so first of all, in terms of the price for Ronaldo, I hope that he is very, very expensive. I hope, ideally, that he's like, maybe, I know this is going to be, you know, you're not going to like the sounds of this, right? But I hope, for the sake of FPL the game, that he costs around, I don't know, 13.5, 14 million. If he was at 13.5 or 14 million, we have a bit of a decision to make there, right? We have to decide, oh, okay, that's a really high price. Are we willing to make that sacrifice in the rest of our team in order to bring Ronaldo in? We'd have to think about it. However, if he's sort of like 12.5, 13 million, particularly if he's 12.5 million, I would say that he's probably going to be in 70% of teams overall. 100% of the teams, you know, the engaged players, it'll be in like 100% of the teams. He'll be captained every week as well, and it'll be a situation where, you know, you're basically playing FPL with 10 players because Ronaldo's there as a default, and then it's just about who you're picking for the other 10 players. And that's kind of boring in my opinion. So I do hope that Ronaldo is that higher price, because that would make things a little bit more interesting. FPL Phillips says, Dan just had to stream when I'm streaming. Sorry, bro. I did see you popped up a stream about 2:30, but I'd already booked this in. So I was like, yeah, I don't like to step on people's toes usually. And I did wait for another stream. I was watching FPL stream to finish before going live as well. But there we go. Yeah, there's plenty of room for everyone in terms of FPL streaming, right? But back to Ronaldo, I think if I'm to guess his price, I would say he's going to be 13 million. So he's going to be the most expensive player in the game. He's going to be listed as a forward. It will give us something to think about a little bit, but it's not such an unattractive price that no one's going for him. It's not such an attractive price that everyone's going for him. And at 13 million, that would give us a bit of a question to answer, really. And I think most people will still come to the conclusion that, yes, you should buy him. But, yeah, 12.5 is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, guys, I've done a little bit of research on how Ronaldo would fare in the Premier League. I've done a little bit of maths. It's all kind of rough maths, but so I can't really get it up on screen because I haven't. Okay, I've not really got anything to put on screen, but I'll tell you basically what the situation is. So, the last 3 seasons, Ronaldo has averaged 32 games played, 27 goals and 6 assists. So that's not too bad. 32 games is a decent amount of game time. You perhaps say that maybe he plays a little bit more, barring injuries. He does get the occasional injury, but 32 games, 27 goals, 6 assists. He's not going to be able to play the first 3 games of the season, of course, because there's just not enough time in the world to get him in and registered on time, and 2 of the games have already passed. So really, 27 goals and 6 assists is what we're looking at as a final figure. That would be a pretty good score. A very good score, but how good would it be? Well, I'm actually going to say that he wouldn't score as many as that in the Premier League, because also in my research I have figured out that in terms of goals scored, Serie A has more goals in the Serie A. So we kind of have to say, all right, well, maybe there's a few less goals in the Premier League than there are in Serie A. There's about 88% of the goals that there are in the Serie A. So we have to bring down the average a little bit of what we expect Ronaldo to get, because perhaps we'll say Premier League is a little bit of a tougher league. And that brings me to a conclusion that Ronaldo will score 24 goals and get 5 assists. So slightly less than what he's averaging in the Serie A. Only slightly less, but still slightly less. And that's an average of 0.74 goals per game, or 0.17 assists per game. Total goal involvements per game, 0.91. Now, when we're talking about 24 goals and 5 assists in the league, that sounds pretty good. That's 24 goals. That's a fantastic record if you could manage that. But guys, if we divert your attention to someone like Harry Kane, for example, here we are. And we look at his kind of what he did last season. He got 23 goals, so that's slightly less than what I've predicted Ronaldo would get. So only 1 goal less than Ronaldo would get. But the assists is the big difference maker. Kane last season got 14 assists. Ronaldo, I'm predicting to get 5 assists. So it does really bring that down a little bit. And it kind of basically means that actually Ronaldo is perhaps not going to do as well as Kane last year. So if we think about how good Kane was last year, Ronaldo, I don't think is going to quite match that in terms of FPL points, because of the assist factor, which really does impact our FPL points. But we'll carry on the maths anyway, because I've done a little bit more maths. If I can find my notes. They've disappeared. Oh, my application isn't responding. That's helpful. I'll get it up on my phone instead. Oh no, here it comes. Okay, so more maths. I actually didn't write this down, but I worked it out in my head. Basically, I came to the conclusion that on that basis, judging, to get that amount of game time, that amount of goals, that amount of assists, Ronaldo's going to get roughly 175 points in FPL this year without bonus points. If we add the bonus points, we would say, judging by, some of Kane's histories, like the typical what a striker gets in a performance about that good, he'll probably get about 30 bonus points as well, which gives us a season total of 205 points that I would imagine that he gets this year. It's a decent points haul. 205 points by the end of the season is very good. But it's not worldy good. It's not world-beatingly good, right? And that's kind of the thing. It's good, but that would make him like the 5th highest scoring player if we're doing on the basis of last season. Kane, Son, Salah, Bruno would have all outscored him if he got 205 points last season, for example. So he's still going to be very, very premium, and but it's going to be more of a question of what are his numbers going to be like. Are his numbers going to be slightly lower in the Premier League? In which case, this is good, but it's not amazing. I mean, well, it is amazing, obviously, but it's not like he'll be on course to be the top scoring player, because we've got players like Salah who are going to score more points just because they get more points for goals. They get more points for clean sheets. That's the impact in FPL, which actually makes the strikers a little bit less nice to own. Kane was a little bit of an exception last year because he got so many assists, 14 assists last year, which is incredible. I don't expect Ronaldo to match that. I just can't really see that. David Lee says, but Juve aren't as strong as supplying him with assists. Yeah, I mean, look, this is all very much predictions. I'm just using data. I don't want to speculate too much, so I'm just using numbers at this point. We could speculate and say, Ronaldo in this Manchester United team is going to thrive even more. He's going to do even better, than he has done in the last few years. But remember his age. I'm not saying he's declining as an asset, but the Premier League is a difficult league. It's a tough league, and to expect him to come in straight away and score 27 goals in his first season is a big ask. It's a big ask. But all of this said, I sound like I'm slandering Ronaldo as an FPL asset already before he's even arrived. I'm not. I'm trying to be kind of objective here, and let me tell you guys, I will definitely still be getting him at around 12.5 or 13 million. I will definitely be getting him, right? And the reason is because he covers Manchester United captaincy options. So, if I go back to let's just go back to my pick team, for example. So, say Ronaldo was to come in and he starts in game week 4. Now, if I just go on Fernandes to show you, in game week 4, Manchester United play Newcastle at home, which is obviously a fantastic fixture. Now, I don't know if Ronaldo will be all wrapped up and ready to go by that time, but you would say there's probably a decent amount of time to get him ready to go by game week 4. There's a good chance, not definitely, but there's a good chance. In game week 4, who are you going to captain? Well, before we might say, okay, we'll captain Bruno Fernandes. I mean, look at that, get home against Newcastle. What a great fixture to captain Bruno Fernandes. But with Ronaldo coming in, it does make Bruno a less attractive asset. Like, I know this is very controversial to talk about among Manchester United fans, but a lot of, and please let me reassure you, I'm talking about in FPL terms only. I'm talking about in FPL. I know Bruno Fernandes is a fantastic player. I am well aware of that, but we've got to talk about this in FPL terms. This is an FPL channel after all. A lot of Bruno's goal returns do come from penalties, or have come from penalties, and set pieces as well. So we can kind of see here, I've got this up on screen for you guys to have a look at. Hopefully you can see most of that, but we can see on the left here in the attack column that he's got 29 goals for Manchester United in the Premier League so far. 13 of those have come from penalties. And when you say, okay, because right, let's just get this clear. If Ronaldo comes to Manchester United, Ronaldo will be taking penalties. There's no doubt about that. You can't take penalties away from Cristiano Ronaldo. He's taking them. It's happening. We've got to get used to that fact. If you take away the 13 penalties that Bruno scored over the last year and a half, he's left with 16 goals, which don't get me wrong, is still really, really good. It's really good. When you add the assists to that as well, 19 assists in a year and a half, really, really nice. It's really nice returns, but it's not 12 million good. And that's the thing. Bruno Fernandes costs 12 million. And the reason you pay 12 million rather than, a 10 million, 10.5, 11 million is because you get those additional points from him taking penalties and him taking free kicks and stuff like that. You get the additional opportunities for him to score. And that is what inflates Bruno's price so much. That's what makes him worth 12 million. Unfortunately, without the penalties, and I know I'm not calling him Penendes. I could go the whole Penendes route. Oh, Bruno, he only scores penalties. He doesn't. He scores other goals as well. He scored 3 goals in the opening game from open play. Game week 1, hat-trick, no penalties. So he's still a great asset, but it is going to impact his output. And that's just talking stats. Now we have to think, okay, focal points. Who is the focal point in Manchester United's team right now? Well, Bruno Fernandes, he's their best player, he's their star player. He is the focal point, he's the talisman, everything goes through him. If Ronaldo comes into the team, this changes. The emphasis is taken away from Bruno a little bit. We've seen it in the Portugal team. When Bruno plays alongside Ronaldo, the focal point is not on Bruno, it's on Ronaldo. We'd see the same thing at Manchester United, and it would basically, create a scenario where not only has Bruno not got penalties, not got free kicks, it's also a case of he won't be so much of a focal point. And you could make an argument, okay, well, maybe Bruno will get some more assists, right? But assists are not the big points makers in FPL. We know that you get 3 points for an assist, you get 5 points for a goal as a midfielder. The goals are what makes things happen. That's what creates your massive scores, right? Typically speaking. So it's gonna be really difficult to justify paying 12 million for Bruno. It really is. I know it's 12.1 million now. It's gonna be difficult to justify having him. And when we're talking about this game, okay, we'll use this game against Newcastle as an example. Are we going to want to captain Bruno anymore against Newcastle? I don't think I would. Knowing that he's not going to be the focal point, he's not going to be on set pieces anymore, do I really want to captain Bruno anymore? No, I want to captain Cristiano Ronaldo. He's going to be the focal point. He's going to be taking penalties. He's going to be taking free kicks. He's going to be, wanting to make a big splash on his debut. I want Cristiano Ronaldo for that game. He is the captain option, right? So this is what I'm kind of saying. Even if the price is bad, even if we're expecting the output to only be around, 210 points. I say only, obviously. Even if I'm expecting players like Salah to outscore Ronaldo over the course of the season, we need a Manchester United captain option. And when Manchester United have a good fixture, you need an option from their team to captain them to get those insane points. And who else are we going to captain from Manchester United? Bruno is less attractive now. Greenwood, he's in the mud now as well. He's in the mud as an FPL asset. He's in the mud because Sancho is taking his right wing spot. Ronaldo would be taking his striker spot. Where does Greenwood fit in? He plays less games. It's quite simple. Greenwood would just simply play less games of football, which is tough. It is kind of tough, but it is what it is. Greenwood would no longer really be viable as an FPL asset. We've got players like Cavani. He's going to become, so unattractive now. So he's not captain option anymore. So we're kind of really left with Ronaldo as a standout captain option. A few people are saying in the chat, I think Bruno's going to be good. I think he's still going to be a great option. I'm sure he will be still a great option, but will he be a better option than Ronaldo? The reason we don't typically double up on our premiums, the reason we don't typically go for a Salah and a Mane is because we want to have maybe 2 premium players from different teams so we can captain different ones on different days. What makes premiums worth their money is the fact that we can captain them, right? So in a straight choice between Bruno and Ronaldo, who are you taking? Who are you guys taking? You're taking Ronaldo, aren't you? I'm taking Ronaldo. I hope a lot of you guys will be taking Ronaldo as well. And yeah, he becomes that perfect captain option for Manchester United. And every time Manchester United have a really good fixture or hit a nice vein of form, or get a nice home game against a weaker defence, we can just do it straight away. Captain Ronaldo, he gets the points. And there we go. So it's going to impact not just, the rest of our teams. It's also going to impact other Manchester United players and how willing you should be to go for them, I suppose. But there is more. There is more impact. Yeah, everyone's saying in the chat, you go for Ronaldo, right? Yeah, we're kind of on the same page here. Okay. So, how else is this going to impact FPL? Well, Lukaku, Kane. We've been talking non-stop about Lukaku and Kane all week, right? Kane staying at Spurs. He's playing against Watford this week. Kane. Let's get him. Get him. Lukaku comes to Chelsea. Looks amazing on his debut. Scores against Arsenal. We know that Chelsea have got this amazing run of fixtures from Gameweek 7 onwards. We really want Lukaku for that run of fixtures for Chelsea. But what if Ronaldo is also listed as a forward? Are we really going to have 2 premium forwards and no premium midfielders? This would mean no Salah, no Bruno, no KDB, no Son, no, whoever else, does well in terms of midfielders. How, are we really going to have neither Fernandes or Salah in order to get both Ronaldo and a Lukaku/Kane? It's getting tough. See, it starts to get tough because there is so many premium options, and when everyone's a premium, it just becomes a nightmare. It becomes a nightmare. This is going to be tough. Honestly, guys, this is going to become really, really tough. So, what we would probably be realistically wanting to do is have one premium midfielder that we can rotate, whether that's Salah. Well, it probably would be Salah, to be fair. And then we perhaps rotate Salah to, depending on runs of fixtures, runs of form, stuff like that. We can rotate Salah very simply to, a KDB or Bruno if you want him. Or a Sterling or a Son or whatever, and do that at the midfield premium rotation, because you can't have them all. What we're going to have to do is basically use our transfers to make sure we own the right ones at the right times during good runs of games, during good runs of forms. That's how we're going to have to deal with that situation. And then we'll have another slot for our forward, our premium forward. We'll have a Ronaldo when Manchester United's fixtures look good, or if Ronaldo's in a good vein of form, and then we'll have Lukaku at other times, we'll have Kane at other times. It's going to be tough, and it's going to be all about having the right player at the right time. And because you are really going to struggle. I mean, particularly if Ronaldo's price is as high as I think it's going to be, which is in the region of 13 million, it is going to be almost impossible to have Salah, Ronaldo, and also one of Lukaku or Kane. Certainly not Kane. Lukaku maybe. I mean, remember, Kane is a 12.3 million. That's a huge price. Enormous. It's going to be so tough. Really, really is going to be tough. You guys, you're going to see me pulling my hair out over the next couple of weeks. I can assure you of that. But I think the basic move to do right now would be, and I may as well show you on screen the kind of thing what I'd do. And let's, for argument's sake, assume that Ronaldo is a 13 million forward. If he's 12.5, the scenes, by the way. But what we would do is we'd take out Fernandes and replace him with probably, the thing is, I'm also going to have to take out Greenwood if this is the case. But we'll deal with that. We'd probably put in a player like Rafinha. I like Rafinha a lot for the upcoming run of fixtures, particularly after the... In fact, you know what? No, I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably take out Greenwood for Rafinha the week after. So, I don't know. Okay, let's replace Ings, because Ings is going to go out of Gameweek 3 anyway, and replace him with... I'm going to put Kane in here, who's 12.3, and I'm going to make sure I leave 0.7 in the bank minimum to make sure that, that was that. So assume Kane is Ronaldo, right? And assume he costs 13 million. So we do that. We take out Ronaldo, we'd replace one of our forwards with Kane, and then we'd grab a midfielder, and I guess an almost premium midfielder, something like that. So we go for, I don't know who. To be fair, the problem is, if I sort by price, there are very few players in that 8 million region that I'm actually that interested in. I'm really not that interested in many of these players at all. Like, I mean, maybe Pogba, but not really convinced by that. There's not a lot, right? So really, we might have to go in 1 week early on Rafinha. And there we go. We do something like that. That's how it would look. And then, yeah, after that, we'll probably think about taking out Greenwood. But for who? Yeah, midfield is looking pretty bare, which is why I'm kind of glad I've gone for a kind of a 3-4-3. Not a 5 midfielder formation, because, yeah, who do you go for? I mean, Jota maybe. Because Tsimikas will be gone from my team by then, obviously. So maybe we bring in, like, Jota. That could work, to be fair. Where is he? There you are. So it'd be something like that. Assuming Kane is Ronaldo, we do something like that. Following week, we take out Greenwood and we put in Rafinha. Still annoyingly, I wouldn't have DCL in this. I would probably do like Wilson to a Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Oh, I don't know why I'm putting DCL like that's going to work. Oh, it's still on midfielders. Go forwards. I'm putting DCL like that. And I would imagine my team looks roughly like this come game week 6. Oh, except that Simicast would not be there. It would be Duffy as well. So, assuming that Kane is Ronaldo. I'm just going to go all players. Assume that Kane is Ronaldo. That is roughly what I imagine my team would look like. Not bad. Not bad. It's affordable. It's doable. 0.9 in the bank. We can do it. It can be done. But, you know, we're talking 2 premiums. We're talking a lot of money spread. You could, of course, I'd sell Trent Alexander-Arnold to free up funds. Yeah, you could do that. But it's kind of difficult. It's going to take more than just sacrificing Alexander-Arnold to get in a player like Cristiano Ronaldo with the price we're expecting him to be. But even like when you do that, where does Lukaku fit in? Because I want Lukaku as well. Honestly, I think wildcard it's going to be wildcard time at some point in the near future. Nico says, with Man United's red fixtures coming up, does that affect bringing in Ronaldo? I don't think so, no. When a player's that good, they'll score against anyone. Yeah. No Chelsea for Game Week 7. No, Game Week 7, then it'll be all about Chelsea. I am planning on a Game Week 7 wildcard anyway. But I'm just sort of saying what transfer moves I would kind of be making up until that point, right? Game Week 7 is when I'm hoping to hold my wildcard until... I don't know if I'll actually last that long, but I'm hoping to last until Game Week 7 before playing my wildcard, and then we're going to go all about Chelsea, aren't we, really? But yeah, I mean, wildcard in Game Week 4 is looking pretty nice as well, particularly if we do want to restructure our teams a little bit. It's going to be a very, very difficult time. It's going to be so difficult because there's too many premiums. There's too many premiums. At the beginning of the season, everything looked all right. Okay, we can choose from Salah, Kane, Bruno, KDB. Those are our premiums. There we go. Move on. Now when you add Lukaku to the mix, Ronaldo to the mix, it becomes so difficult. Man, for in FPL terms, anyway, it's going to be crazy. But anyway, I only wanted to do a quick half an hour stream because I did still want this video to be watchable as a video. Like if people want to watch the replay, I did want this to be watchable. So hopefully you did enjoy, this discussion about Ronaldo, how he fits in, how this is going to impact other players as well. It's going to be a crazy time for FPL, and I'm going to try my best to help you navigate it. This is very much initial thoughts from me. We've all only known about this for 24 hours. Really, or how likely it's going to be for 24 hours. So yeah, this is very much early thoughts on early research, but we are going to delve into it a lot, I imagine, over the next couple of weeks. Don't worry about that. But there you go, guys. I am hoping to stream tomorrow morning, but it does depend on how hungover I am, and we will consider doing a deadline stream. But yeah, just a quick warning on that one. If I don't show up at 10 a.m. for that deadline stream, UK time, obviously, then you'll know why. It's because I'm hungover. But yeah, guys, hopefully you did enjoy this chat. Please do like the video, like the stream if you did enjoy what you saw today. Please do subscribe if you haven't done already. We're going to try and help you out with some FPL tips non-stop for the rest of the season. And aside from that, guys, just thanks for watching, basically. Thanks for joining. And yeah, I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.